This is a joke. This has to be a sick, twisted joke. You are lying to me. I demand you tell me the truth.
Standing across from her is Mr. Davis, a calm, dignified estate lawyer in a sharp suit. Sitting quietly in the corner of the massive office is Elena. Elena is a humble, hard-working hospice nurse wearing faded, slightly wrinkled blue medical scrubs. She is clutching her cheap canvas tote bag to her chest.
I assure you, Victoria, this is not a joke. I am a professional. I am simply reading your late father's last will and testament as he legally dictated to me before his passing.
My father was a billionaire. He owned half the commercial real estate in this entire city. And you are telling me that he left his entire fortune, the mansions, the international company, the offshore accounts, to his completely worthless minimum wage nurse? Over his own flesh and blood? I will sue her. I will destroy her entire life. She clearly manipulated a sick, dying old man into signing his money away. Madam, please. I swear to you, I had absolutely no idea about any of this. I didn't ask Mr. Sterling for a single penny. I just wanted to make sure he was comfortable in his final days. Oh, save your crocodile tears. You gold-digging rat! You knew exactly what you were doing. You spent the last 6 months pretending to care about a dying man just to steal my inheritance. That money belongs to me. I have massive debts to pay. I have a luxury lifestyle to maintain. You are nothing but the help. You belong in the gutters.
Enough! Victoria, sit down right now, or I will have the building security physically remove you from these premises.
Victoria scoffs, crossing her arms and falling back into her leather chair, glaring daggers at Elena. To understand why a dying billionaire would completely disinherit his only daughter for a nurse he barely knew, we have to go back exactly 3 months to when Mr. Sterling's health first began to heavily decline. Arthur Sterling, 70s, lies in a massive mechanical medical bed. He looks frail, sickly, and utterly exhausted. Medical monitors beep softly in the background, keeping track of his failing heart. Victoria storms into the room, aggressively typing on her designer smartphone. She is wearing a lavish fur coat and oversized sunglasses.
Victoria, my sweet girl, you finally came to visit me. It has been over a month since I last saw your face. Could you please bring me a glass of water? My throat is so incredibly dry.
Ugh, Dad, seriously? Can't you ring your little silver bell and have one of the maids do it? I didn't drive my sports car all the way out here to play waitress for you. I am incredibly busy right now.
I gave the staff the weekend off. I thought since it was Sunday, we could spend some quality time together. The doctors say I don't have much time left, Victoria. My heart is failing.
Look, Dad, let's stop being so dramatic, okay? You've been dying for 6 months now. You are always complaining. The only reason I drove out to this depressing house is because the bank is threatening to repossess my yacht. I need you to sign the trust fund release paper so I can transfer $3 million into my checking account by tomorrow morning.
Victoria pulls a stack of legal documents out of her designer bag and throws them carelessly onto his lap.
Is that all I am to you, Victoria? An ATM machine? I am lying here, fighting for my life, in pain every single day, and all you care about is your yacht? What happened to the sweet little girl who used to hold my hand and tell me she loved me?
What happened is that I grew up and realized that money makes the world go round. Stop trying to guilt trip me. Just sign the stupid papers, Dad. You are ruining my entire weekend. If you aren't going to sign them right now, then I am leaving. I have a first-class flight to Paris in 3 hours with my friends.
Victoria doesn't wait for an answer. She doesn't clean up the spilled water. She turns around and storms right out of the room, slamming the heavy bedroom door behind her. Arthur is left completely alone in the dark, shivering in wet blankets, crying silently, unable to even reach the call button. Suddenly, the door gently opens. Elena, the young, newly hired hospice nurse, steps inside. She sees Arthur crying and shivering, and she immediately drops the tray, rushing to his side.
Oh my goodness, Mr. Sterling, what happened? Shh, it is okay. I am here now. You are safe. You are not alone.
My own daughter. She couldn't even pour me a glass of water, Elena. She yelled at me. She just left me here to die.
I am so incredibly sorry, sir. Sometimes people get so blinded by greed that they lose their way in life. But you don't have to worry about her right now. Look what I brought you. I made you my grandmother's special chicken soup. I paid for the ingredients myself. It always made me feel better when I was sick. Let me feed you, okay?
For the next 3 months, Elena never leaves
Are you feeling
Arthur's
comfortable
side.
now?
While Victoria is out partying in Paris, spending her father's credit cards and completely ignoring his phone calls, Elena is working double shifts. She reads Arthur his favorite books. She holds his hand during his painful medical treatments, and she treats him with the absolute dignity and respect of a loving daughter.
Elena, my sweet angel. Why are you still here? Your shift ended 4 hours ago. You should be at home resting.
I am not going to leave you alone, Mr. Sterling. Nobody should ever have to cross over to the other side by themselves. I am right here. I've got you. I'm not going anywhere.
You showed me more genuine love in 3 months than my own daughter showed me in 30 years. Thank you, Elena. Thank you for letting me feel like a father one last time.
Arthur takes his final, peaceful breath. The monitor flatlines into a long, continuous beep. Elena breaks down, sobbing heavily over his chest. Back to present. Victoria is still fuming, pacing back and forth across the expensive carpet like a caged animal.
I am contesting this will. My father was clearly out of his mind. He didn't know what he was doing. I am taking this to the Supreme Court. If I have to, I am the rightful heir to the Sterling fortune, and I will not let some pathetic peasant steal it from me.
Victoria, your father was a perfectly sound mind. 2 independent psychiatrists signed off on his mental state. In fact, he anticipated that you would react exactly like this, which is why he left one final addendum to his will. A video message recorded specifically for you, just days before he passed away.
Mr. Davis presses a button. A large flat-screen TV on the mahogany wall turns on. The video shows Arthur sitting up in his medical bed. He looks incredibly weak.
Hello, Victoria. If you are watching this, it means my heart finally gave out. And knowing you, it means you are currently screaming at Mr. Davis, demanding your inheritance. For your entire life, I gave you absolutely everything you ever asked for. I bought you the luxury cars, the massive yachts, the designer clothes. I thought giving you money was how I showed you love as a father. But I was so incredibly wrong. I didn't raise a daughter. I raised a greedy, heartless monster.
Victoria freezes. The anger completely drains from her face, replaced by pure shock as she stares at the screen.
While I lay dying in absolute agony, terrified of the end, you couldn't even be bothered to pour me a simple glass of water. You yelled at me. You let me freeze in wet blankets. You only cared about my bank accounts. But Elena, a complete stranger, she wiped my tears. She fed me when I was too weak to lift a spoon. She spent her own meager paycheck to buy me soup. She held my hand as I took my final breaths. While you were ignoring my desperate phone calls from a yacht in Paris. You assumed my money was your birthright. But true wealth is earned through kindness, compassion, and character. 3 things you completely lack.
Arthur takes a deep, ragged breath on the video.
Therefore, I am leaving my entire $3 billion estate, the international company, and all of the properties to Elena. She is the one who truly deserves it. As for you, Victoria, I am leaving you the exact same thing you gave me in my final hours of desperate need. Absolutely nothing!
Victoria's knees buckle beneath her. She collapses into her leather chair, her massive ego and arrogance completely shattered, and her ultimate instant karma finally hits her. Without this inheritance, she is entirely bankrupt.
No, 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 please. I have millions of dollars in debt. The bank is going to take my house. They're going to take my cars. I have nothing left. I don't know how to work. What am I going to do?
You made your bed, Victoria. Now you have to lie in it. You pushed away the only person who truly loved you for a yacht. Please leave my office immediately before I call the police to escort you out for trespassing. You no longer have any business here.
Victoria slowly stands up, utterly humiliated and completely destroyed. She looks over at Elena, opening her mouth to beg for a handout, but she sees the cold, hard reality in the lawyer's eyes. She realizes it is over. She turns and walks out the heavy oak doors, weeping loudly, her entire life completely ruined by her own greed.
Well, Elena, it appears you are now the sole owner of Sterling Enterprises and a multi-billionaire. I know this is a massive shock. Do you have any idea what you are going to do with all of this incredible wealth?
I don't know yet. But I think the very first thing I want to do is open a massive, free hospice care center for the poor, so that nobody in this city ever has to pass away feeling alone, terrified, or unloved ever again. Mr. Sterling would have wanted that.
Greed and entitlement will always leave you morally and financially bankrupt in the end. Never forget to treat people with basic kindness, because true wealth is measured by the size of your heart, not the size of your bank account.
Arthur Sterling spent his 30 years building an empire, but he died shivering in wet blankets because his own daughter could not pause her weekend long enough to pour him a glass of water. All that money, all that power, and in his final hours, what he needed most was something no bank account could buy. Just someone to hold his hand and tell him he wasn't alone. That's the lesson Arthur wanted his fortune to teach. Not that good people always win, but that how you treat someone when they are at their absolute lowest is the trusted measure of who you actually are. Victoria lost $3 billion, but she already lost something worth far more than that the moment she walked out and left her father crying in the dark. Thank you for watching till the end. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe us.